Oh, hey, the fish. You wanted to know about the fish. Okay, I got time. It's almost midnight now, and I have not put up today's vlogmas. I was doing so good consistency-wise, and I still want to be good. I don't want to just skip it because it's so late. I'm just going to tell you about the fish. The fish lead to a lot of the background story that led up to this point, but I'm just going to touch on it. We'll get to the rest next year sometime. But the fish were a gift, kind of. So last year, towards the beginning of 2023, I decided to start a poker podcast with Caitlin Komeski.
With Nikki and
Hello, welcome back to Ace Hole.
One of the poker content creators. And I had gone to the GPI Awards with her as her date. I'm in a very formal gown driving on the freeway right now. I'm not gonna look at you because I'm looking at the road. We are on our way to the Poker GPI Awards. That is the Global Poker Index. It's the annual poker industry award show. We hit it off immediately. We had a lot of similar backgrounds, similar everything. That's a whole long story that I will get into in January when I go over, recap everything. But long story short, we started a podcast called Ace Holes, which was the catalyst to a lot of things happening. And one of the guests that we had on the podcast, his name is Pizza. His name's like Ryan or something, but he goes by Pizza.
Do you just go by Pizza, or you never go by your birth name?
Dead name.
It's your dead name.
dead name.
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No
It's
offense.
been like 20 years.
We won't bring it up.
They had a new poker vlog out called Poker with Pizza. We had them on as guests. They have a background in comedy and acting and all that stuff. And they brought us a fish.
We got you a fish.
Wait, what?
What?
They brought us a fish and a full thing of ham.
This is this is nice.
Wow.
That's a ham?
Is that a
Like
brain?
ham.
This is a ham.
Yeah.
You guys can do
Hey,
whatever you
alright.
want with it.
It's really
I don't eat meat, so we left it at the Poker Night in America house while we were living there. This is where there's a lot of story to this.
We are finishing up our residency in this beautiful place where we will be doing more streams and more things to come.
I want to focus on the fish because the fish started a fish thing in my house. So Caitlin doesn't live in Vegas. She lives in Texas. She was staying with me during the summer, and then we were both staying at this mansion together. She couldn't fly with a fish. She actually has fish at home, but she couldn't fly with a fish. All right. So they gave us this fish, and obviously I have to take it home because I'm the one that lives here. And we debated on what to do with this fish. It's just this little tiny guppy. And they were like, you can't let this fish die. And we're like, what? Okay. I know nothing about fish, at all. I don't think they did either. They just went to a pet store and got a fish because it has the spirit of their limousine that died.
We have to abandon our limo. It's like a prized possession. and yesterday, we'll get into it. Maybe we won't have time, but me and Louis got to use some alien technology at a Olympic martial arts training gym.
It was really strange
That's
and bizarre.
some kind of guided meditation in an orb with what they claim was some brand new cutting edge technology. And one thing that we learned, we had a 45-minute session with God. We were able to now channel the spirit and energy of even inanimate objects and put them into anything we want. So we took the spirit of our limo, which we're now abandoning.
Where
we
is
put it
it?
into the spirit of this fish. It's a female guppy named Ray's.
Watch the episode. They'll explain the limousine fish connection. I don't have time for that. Basically, I brought this fish home. Caitlin was like, give it back to the pet store. And Steve was like, no, we can't let it go because the pet store will just feed it to, make it a feeder fish or whatever. So I kept this freaking fish. Its name was Ray's. And immediately I go to Google because I'm like, how the fuck do I take care of this fish, right? We bought it fish food, right? And we bought it water conditioner, but I don't know. Beyond that, I don't know. I don't know how to change the water. I don't know how to care for a fish. The only background I have on fish is that we used to have a goldfish when I was little that we won at a carnival. I won it at a carnival. And my mom used to take the fish out with a spoon and put it in a glass of water and then change out the water and then put the fish back in the water. But apparently that's wrong. She's not supposed to do that at all. At all. Anyway, I don't know how that fish survived so long. That fish survived for 5 years in this little tiny filterless fish bowl, round fish bowl tiny fish bowl as a goldfish. Anyway, now that I know so much about fish, I'm like, how did that happen? So this fish, I started researching guppies, and I found out that they like to have friends, otherwise they get depressed. So I'm like, I can't just have one in here, so I get another one. I can't have more than another one because this bowl that they gave us was only three gallons, right? And like you're supposed to have like a 5 to 10 gallon tank. But like it's a tiny guppy, so I'm like 3 gallons, okay, with just like one friend, and make it a girlfriend because it's a girl fish, so that they don't have a bunch of babies, right? We'll just have these 2 little girlfriend fish, and then that's it. Okay, well, the fish that I got, I made sure it wasn't pregnant, and they were doing great. Oh my God, Ray's was so happy. They were all swimming together. They were like besties, and then like within days, this new fish starts floating on its side, and it's not dead. It's just floating. It's just sideways. It's like it can't get upright. And turns out it's called swimmer's bladder. Or no, it's called swim bladder. I don't know. Editing Nikki, figure out what it's called. I put it right there. It's called like swimmer's bladder or something. I did a lot of research on this too. Anyway, I tried to save it with a salt bath and it killed it. So I felt terrible. Oh my God, I cannot deal with death. And the fact that I killed it, I was just freaking out. Like, freaking out, man. I don't like death. I immediately go buy Ray's a new fish and made sure it wasn't pregnant. And I'm like, I don't want this one to get swimmer's bladder, so let me do like even more research on this tank. Apparently, because it's so small, you have to be cleaning that tank like every other day. So like, then I had to get a gravel cleaner, and every other day, I swear, kid you not, I was changing out 50% of the water in this tank every other day. And that's a lot of stress for a fish, right? So Ray's she stops eating, and then she dies. Well, I have to go on a trip. I actually had to go be on a Mr. Beast video. That was another, oh my gosh.
Congratulations on surviving. Let's go to the next level that has giant death beams.
Death beam?
Yeah, that's right, death beams.
Like, that was another thing. I had to go be on a Mr. Beast video. It was a laser-based video. And when I came back, she was dead. So then now we have the friend. Her name was Button. I named her Button. She was crazy. Button was really fun. She was crazy. She was fun. She didn't give a shit. She ended up being pregnant. I don't know how. I had the guy check out the fish a million times, and he said it wasn't pregnant. It was pregnant. So Button has babies, and as soon as we see the babies, she starts eating them. She starts eating the babies. I'm like, what? Okay, so I go rush to Petco or whatever, PetSmart, and I buy a like small 1 gallon tank, like a side tank, to put her babies in so she won't eat them. I can only save 3 of them, and they lived in this little side tank. Okay, I ended up having to go back and reshoot that Mr. Beast video like 2 weeks later, and when I was gone, that fish died. Oh my gosh, maybe it's correlated. I don't know. Every time I leave for a Mr. Beast video, a fish dies. That's just how my life is. So hopefully, I mean, I got a lot of fish now, so I'd have to be in a lot of Mr. Beast videos to have all of them die. Well, I am going to be in that Prime series that is coming out on the 19th. It's fine. You can watch it if you want. I don't even know if I'm in it. I tried to hide every time there were cameras, but I might be in it. Whatever. Comes out on the 19th on Amazon Prime. But who cares? We're not talking about Mr. Beast. We're talking about how every time I went to a video, a fish died. Okay, so Button dies, and now I just have these, like, her babies. And I'm like, I cannot deal with all this fish death, and I feel terrible. Like I need atonement for how many fish have died under my care, even though like they happened when I was gone. But so maybe we blame Steve. I don't know. But the point is, a 3 gallon tank, way too small for a fish, even those small fish, because you have to be cleaning out the tank so much because of all the ammonia, nitrites, and nitrates. I watched about 50 hours. I'm not even exaggerating. I watched about 50 hours of fish videos. Everything from aquascaping to different types of fish to like the types of plants that you should have in fish tanks so that you can balance the nitrites and nitrates, and the fish testing so that you can test the water, and like if your fish gets like some diseases, like how to treat them, and all kinds of shit. Okay, like I'm subscribed to so many fish channels now. Like my whole YouTube feed is still like half fish stuff, and I don't even watch those videos anymore. But I mean, I found a lot of cool channels that way. There's this guy that like makes intricate tanks, and it is fascinating to watch. I've watched so many of his videos, but I didn't learn much about fish from those videos. I just learned about aquascaping. I almost started a whole new hobby. You guys, I did not have time for new hobbies. Last year was so fucking busy, but I was this close to just starting like I was just gonna start like 50 fish tanks because I was so obsessed. Thank God I have the mind to be like, Nikki, you get obsessed with things and then you get over them within 3 months. So let's just like fucking chill. We have like so much on our plate already. That's how I know that poker's here to stay, because it lasted way longer than 3 months with me still being obsessed with it. Anyway, back to the fish. So I got really good at understanding fish tank and fish care and guppies, and guppies are some hardy fish. I have a 10-gallon tank now. It has a heater, it has a thermometer, it has a filtration system, it has LED lights, it has natural plants. It is booming. The fish are having fish, and at first I was like, oh no, what if they have so many fish? You know, they're not supposed to, it's gonna crowd the tank and they're not gonna have oxygen and blah blah blah. No, they self-cull. They like self-populate. Like they'll take care of their population. I'm not even worried. Okay, they're fine. These guppies, they're so tiny. They don't even get full-size guppies. They're like teeny tiny guppies, and they're fine. So if I had other fish in the tank, I'd be a little bit more worried, want to get a bigger tank, but I don't. So I'm okay with the guppies. I test the water all the time. It's great. Tank's doing great. I learned how to clean it. I learned how to do all kinds of shit with this tank. So I had her, the one Buttons babies, you know, on this side tank. During that time is when I bought the 10-gallon tank, started aquascaping, started cycling the tank. It needs 2 weeks to cycle. And the babies grew into, you know, pretty decent sized like fish. They were like adulthood fish, like three months old, right? And I decided to put them into this 10-gallon tank. And while I was, you know, making this the best environment for the fish, I got really into this girl's channel called Fish Portals, I think is her channel. She raises glass belly guppies. They're the most rare guppies in the world, apparently, and she sells them on a site. So I bought a couple because I was like, okay, if I'm gonna have guppies, at least let me have these like really beautiful, rare guppies. And if they mate, like I have like these rare, beautiful guppies in the tank. Okay, well, I don't know what the fuck happened with shipping. They were supposed to make me sign something. I was waiting all day for when I knew that the fish were going to arrive. They never rang the doorbell. They never showed up. I checked my email many times. Nothing happened. I checked the door before I went upstairs for the evening. This was around like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. I was like, okay, I don't think a mail guy is coming anymore. So I'm just going to, you know, wrap it up for the night. Okay, come to find out, mail guy came way late, I guess. I wouldn't have even thought to check the front door, but Steve went outside and there were fish on the front door, and they had been there all night in the cold winter. It was like around this time of year last year, and I thought both of them were dead. They were both floating. They looked dead, and one was deteriorating pretty badly. The other one was alive still. As I was like about to discard them, the one started kind of barely flapping its fin. And I was like, I think this one's alive, right? So I put her in like I get her adjusted to a higher temperature water, and poor thing is like freaking freezing. She's beautiful, but she don't have a mate anymore. I put her in the 10-gallon tank, and she's fine. She like thrives. She's great. She's doing great. She looks way different than the other fish. But she can still mate with them, and she does. And they have babies, and now the babies have there's so many babies, there's babies, and there's always babies. And I got a full tank of guppies. She died like a month ago, but she made it like a year. Guppies, they only have a lifespan of like a year as well. So like that's another thing. I don't like getting attached to fish because I get emotional like when one dies. I stop naming them because there's so many. There's like a bunch of them, and if one dies, I get too sad. So I'm not meant to have more fish, or if I am, I gotta have one that lasts at least like a couple years maybe. But then also the other thing about fish is it's hard to find someone to feed them when you leave town. Like it's not like cats where it's just they're easy, right? Like I gotta find someone that knows how to take care of fish and clean tanks or change water out. I don't know. Like if I'm gone for more than a week, are you kidding me? Like those fish, the blood's gonna be on my hands if I don't find someone that can take care of a fish. Anyway, my camera's about to die, but that's the story of the fish. I have I did an aquascaping hobby for like a couple months, and I know a lot about fish tanks now. The fish tanking craft, the fishery, and I don't want any part of it, but I have the guppies now, and that's what happened to us. Are you okay? Oh my gosh, you hit your head so hard, Franks. What the heck? Oh my goodness. Are you okay, Bubs? Poor guy. Oh my goodness. See, I got enough to worry about with these freaking stupid cats. Well, I gotta worry about freaking stupid fish too. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, don't give me any more fish, man. Like, I don't want to learn new things because I'll get obsessed. And especially if there's living creatures involved. Ugh. I don't need more pets. I don't need more plants. I don't need more puzzles. I'm good, man. Leave me alone. That's the story of the fish. Happy Vlogmas.